For more advanced setup of the system, we will use a laptop or a computer. Now, you need to open your browser and enter the address of the server, which is 192.168.1.111. The login and the password are admin. So we log in and we get on this page, and let's take a look at what we have here. After we enter the system, we get to the overview section, which shows us the general state of the system and the latest messages from the login system. In the general folder, you can choose the language of the interface, choose the time zone and the time renewal parameters, and also register in the cloud in order to access the system from the outside. In the backup and restore sections, there are the backups that have been made, and there is the possibility to restore the configuration of the system from backups. The system automatically creates and stores 14th latest daily backups, 16 weekly backups, and 12 monthly backups. There is also a possibility of creating a backup manually. If the corresponding option is chosen, the backups are automatically synchronized with the cloud. In the security section, we can set the access keys to the system. There is the possibility to create several access keys, and the system will log which key was used to access the system. Also, you can change the access password to the web interface and choose which reports will be sent to the manufacturer for further analysis. In the network section, we can change the network settings of the server. We recommend using the static IP address. The section called Modules shows the list of modules that are in the system. The table has detailed information about every module, the ID of the module in the system, the serial number in the system, time of operation, how much memory is left on the module, etc. Also, there is the possibility to update the firmware of the module and change its configuration. This section also allows to change the configuration of the module. Let's take this 10-channel actuator as an example. This module has 10 universal output channels that by default have been configured as lamps. In this menu, we can change the designation of the output channels to connect blinds, heating valves, motor for the gates, etc. After the settings have been applied, the elements in the interface will be replaced by the chosen ones. Now we have connected some buttons with backlights to this module. Let's change the configuration in order to activate the backlights. Okay, now the backlights show the state of the element, like the lights or the lamps, that the buttons are bound to. In order to update the firmware, we need to press this button, and then we have a choice of versions of the firmware. We have alpha, beta or release versions. When we confirm which version we need, the firmware is automatically uploaded onto the chosen module. In order to diagnose problems, you may need a server log. You can open it by pressing the corresponding button. In this window, you can see the messages from the server. At the top of the window, there are buttons. When you press the up button, the server communicates to all the devices and shows you the information, and if there are any problems, they will be shown here. When you press new devices, the system tries to detect any new devices and shows you what new devices it has detected. When you press version, the system shows you the date of the compilation of the firmware set up in the modules. Every module in the system has its own unique ID from 1 to 999. This ID is formed automatically from the serial number of the device. Very rarely, it may turn out that two devices have the same ID. In this case, you will need to change it by using this button, and then you just give it any free ID. This section shows the structure of the system. On the tablet, you can create new rooms. You can move the elements between these rooms. You can rename them, and also you can set access rights. You are able to create new user profiles and give each their own set of permissions to see and control the chosen elements. When we press the Edit Logic button, we get the direct access to editing the logic XML file. This file shows the structure of the smart home system, all the elements, their parameters and connections between them. Warning: if you're not 100% sure that your corrections to this file are right, do not apply them. Incorrect changes may lead to the malfunctioning of the system. More detailed information about the elements in this file are to be found on our wiki page. The Remote section allows us to add the remote control to control the equipment using infrared signals. After being added, the remote control is shown in the interface, and it can be taught to do its job. This section allows connecting IP cameras to the smart home system. We have connected the camera to the local network, and now let's edit. If the camera supports the OnVIF standard, it can be detected automatically. After you put in the login and password, you can test whether the camera operates as it should. And then we add it to the system. This is the section of working with scenarios. The system has a large database of ready scenarios that keeps getting bigger. These scenarios cover most tasks that you can encounter. Now we need to choose the scenario that we need. For example, let's add the scenario of changing the color lights. After choosing the scenario, we get to the configuration window where we can choose the name of the scenario, its location, which RGB lights in particular it will be controlling, and how long it will take for the lights to change. After adding the scenario, it is shown in the interface and we can run it. You can also change the parameters of the script or add new scripts. In the next tab, you have the possibility to edit the already existing scenario or to create a new scenario. The way our application looks is coded in a number of XML files and images. You can download the default interface, make certain changes to it, and upload it back. After this, a new skin will be shown in the interface, and you'll be able to apply it. In the plugin section, you see a list of the installed plugins. Here we have a plugin for controlling Philips Hue, Alexa, and Node.js for Siri integration. You can enable or disable the plugins, as well as change their configuration. The Features section shows the list of available functions in the system. In the Logs section, we can see the latest messages in the system. The Updates section allows you to check if there are any updates and to update the elements of the system. And the Reboot section allows to reset the system to default settings.